Hi everyone, this is Vicki with Vicki's Tigger Tales, and today I have just a little bit of a different video for you. It is really talking about something that is very near and dear to my heart, and that I have had family members have and are survivors of, and that is breast cancer. October is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it has always been a very, personal, I would say, personal issue, I guess, if you could say it that way, to me, because my mother and my sister both have had breast cancer, and they are both survivors. My mother, I believe, has been either in remission or cancer-free for, gosh, I want to say like 7 or 8 years, and my sister 3, I believe. So it has hit very, very close to home. Per the websites and some of the research that I've done, 1 in 8 women get breast cancer in their lifetime. That is a lot. It's the most common cancer in women, and it can affect men as well. They are estimating on a website that I was reading, I believe it was the National Cancer Society, that in 2021 alone, 2,650 men will be diagnosed or may be diagnosed with breast cancer. So it doesn't just hit women. It also can be a male disease. What I really wanted is, I don't have a personal story other than watching my family members go through some of the things that they went through. So in sharing just how strong both of them are. My sister has, had the surgery. Both my mom and my sister had to have surgery. To be able to have a lumpectomy, as well as and they did save the tata, save that part of their anatomy, but they did have to go through chemotherapy and through radiation treatment. I think in my video, I really want to say that there are a lot of resources out there, because one of the things that I really personally saw, which was really amazing in our area, there were a ton of different entities, different organizations, whatever the case may be, that were doing a lot of support, which I thought was amazing. There were grants that were out there to help. There was transportation help for getting back and forth to treatments. There was, I think my mom had gotten some free like caps, because when she went through chemo and through radiation treatment and everything, she lost her hair. And so she got caps for free. Wigs were donated. There was all kinds of different support things that were given to her. So my suggestion, if anyone is going through any of this stuff or knows anyone that does, is to look on the cancer websites, and then look for the things that are like support for your local area. I'm looking to my right because I do, or left maybe, I'm not sure on what side it's for you, but I have my computer up, and just on the American Cancer Society website alone, it says there's patient programs and services. They have a 24/7 cancer hotline, so there's something out there that you can talk to professionals that'll give you information. And I'll put the telephone number below, but it is 800-227-2345. So there's a hotline that you can talk to people on. There's lodging during your treatment if you have to go somewhere, rides to your treatment that they'll help with. There's support for just talking to other survivors or other people that are going, women or men that are going through it. Hair loss and mastectomy products, and then connecting cancer survivors, so you can talk to other survivors that are actually, you know, have gone through. Having a support system is so important, especially as someone who is going through it with other family members that don't know what's going on with them because they've not experienced it themselves or seen it. It's so important to connect with someone who is, and that way you can share what's normal, what's not, what should we contact my doctor for, you know, or is it something I should be concerned about? So, and that is something too that that helpline, that 800 number, can kind of give you information on as well, because they answer those kinds of questions. I looked up different resources for my own place. They even had like resources for free makeup, because there is a certain type that you have to use if you're on that medication, thinking about your skin and what it goes through during the time period that you're going through radiation or chemotherapy. That's a chemical that's in your body. It's going to change some of the dynamics of your entire system. So there was all kinds of information that was out there for that. My request or hope for this video is just really to kind of go out there, make sure that you're doing your self checks. I do mine on the 1st of every month. It's when I have to pay rent, so I'm like, pay rent, change the air filter of the house, and do my self check. So it's an easy date to remember. Find a date that you know is going to be easy for you to remember. If it's something major that's due every month, which is what I did, that's going to help you do that. If not, have a buddy that you contact every month and do them together over the phone or something. Not together personally, but you know, over the phone, and say yes, and to hold yourself and them accountable for making sure that you're doing your checks. There was also information that I thought was pretty interesting, is on here what to do if you get called back after you do a mammogram. Mammograms are important to start doing after, and I think they said on this particular website at 40 and beyond, yearly. Honestly, I think that the sooner the better. There's, you know, breast cancer doesn't have a age discrimination, you know, kind of thing. It's going to hit anyone at any time. You know, it could. That's especially if the risk factors are high. My risk factors are high because I have 2 immediate family members that have had it, and so my 1 out of 8 is actually 2. You know, right now that I already know. That does not make me immune. I do mine. I have actually been called back for a couple of different mammograms that I have done, and thankfully nothing was going on. It was a lymph node that actually kind of got caught into that area, and they could see and thought that that was actually a cell. A cancer cell is a cell that does not want to die. It basically is a cell that it grows and produces itself and over. It can hide from your immune system, and that's why why it's harder for anybody or any system to get rid of it, is because it can't be reduced or taken care of naturally at all. So when I asked my sister, because you know, I'm 56 years old, I have, ever since that has both of them had their diagnosis, I do my mammograms on a regular basis. But when I feel self checks, because your body changes all the time, I asked my sister, what am I looking for? And because there's tender, like sometimes you'll sleep wrong and it'll be a little bit tender or whatever the case may be, if there's pain or whatever. I asked her, what am I looking for exactly? And she said, something that is hard as a rock. So that made a big difference in how I actually started doing my checks. And you want to start, and I'm not going to go ahead and demonstrate, but you want to start even like under your armpit and then in. So you've covered all that area. Especially if you have more ground to cover, if you know what I mean. There are several risk factors out there that can help with prevention. Alcohol use, obesity, certain like tobacco products, those kinds of things will put you in a higher risk bracket. They also say that, you know, it's going to be, if it's in your genes, it's in your genes. It's going to happen. So the key really is early detection, making sure that you continue to be diligent on your self-checks and your mammogram, so those things can be seen earlier than not. So because it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I always like to do something a little special as far as to my subscribers and the people that pay attention to my videos. What I'd like to do is, whoever, I want you guys to comment hashtag save the tatas. You can comment on anything else if you want to, but do hashtag save the tatas. And I'm going to have a number in mind, and I already have it in mind. That number comment will get some breast cancer awareness buttons, pencils, and this coffee mug to remind you, to not only remind, and you can just, you know, you can give these out to anyone. You can keep this for yourself and give these out to anyone. But to remind you to do your self-checks on the 1st. If you don't have a date already, do it on the 1st. It's the easiest one for me to remember because it's when our big bills are paid. So that'll help you remind you. You can even put the date on the bottom here. Just write it. I know it'll probably come off in the dishwasher. Nonetheless, put it on the 1st on here. And then you can pass these out to your friends and family to kind of help them remind them as well. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much. I want to give the love and light that I have to the survivors, to the ones that have lost, and to the ones that have crossed over. It is a very unfortunate and common cancer among women. It has had wonderful strides in treatment and prevention, but there's still more research to be done. So I will also put down a link for any kind of donations if you choose to do so. There are also walks that you can do to raise money for research. The Susan B. Komen, there's all kinds of different things that you can do. I'll try to put a few of the links down there. There are a ton of different ones that actually could be included, so my best advice is to, if you feel the desire to go ahead and donate to learn more, whatever, that I have the American Cancer Society up here. If you look under, it says Cancer A to Z, you just push Cancer A to Z and go under B, it'll give you the information about it, or any other cancers that are out there. I'll also put the link in there for any of the donations that you can. You can also, on this side, on the American Cancer Society website, donate in a memoriam to someone, if you know someone that has, or in a remembrance of, or someone who is a survivor. So thank you so much. If you are going through something like this, my heart goes out to. You'll be in my thoughts and in my prayers, and you know, keep on fighting the fight. It is hard. It is hard to see someone go through it, but it is so rewarding to see that warrior spirit. And I know my sister alone is quite the fighter, so she was a beautiful example of seeing a warrior spirit in action. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to comment hashtag save the tatas. Thanks, guys.